To continue with our statistics, we are going to learn in this video to find the mean, median, and mode. So one way to summarize a set of data is to use measures of central tendency. And these measures of central tendency are the mean, median, and mode. They're all centrals or measures of central tendencies. An outlier, which is another important word to know, is a data value that is much lower or higher than any other value in the set. So it would be something like this if we had a data point of 2 and then all the other data points were in the 30s. We could even say 39, 40, but 2 is a lot lower than all those other values. So we call that an outlier. So let's talk about the mean. The mean equals the sum of all data points divided by the number of the data points. The mean is also known as, or is referred to as, the average. You are going to use the mean to describe the data when the data has no outlier. We have the median as well, and the median is the middle value of all the data, but before you decide what the middle value is, the numbers need to be in order. So whether that's increasing order or decreasing order, they have to be in order. For a set containing an even number of data values, the median is the average of the two middle values. So if we have an even amount of data numbers, we're going to have to pay attention to that because we have to take the average of those two middle values. You are going to use the median to describe the data when the data has an outlier. And then we have the last one, which is the mode. And the mode is the data item that occurs the most. So some people look at that and say mode, most, mode, most. And that connection allows you to remember that mode is always talking about the data item that occurs the most. The data set can have no mode. So there could be no mode, there could be one mode, or there could be more than one mode. So there could be like 3 modes in a set of data points. You use the mode to describe a data set when determining the most popular data point. So we're going to be finding the mean, median, and mode, and we're going to be looking at which one is going to best describe the data. So for this first example, we have what are the mean, median, and mode of the Bowling scores below? Which measure of central tendency best describes the scores? So we have all these scores here. We are going to find the median first, which is also, we just talked about it, it is the middle of the data points. So we need to list these numbers in order. So 104 is the smallest number there, and we're going to cross that out. And then we look through our list for the next smallest number. Well, we see 104 again. And then looking through this list, 104 is listed a third time. And then 109. And you're listing these in order. 113. Because before we can find the median, we have to put the numbers in order. 117. 136. And the last number, 189. So looking at all these numbers, we need to find the middle. So there's different techniques here. You could count up all the numbers, and there are 8 numbers here. So if there's 8 numbers, our middle number is going to be somewhere around the 4th number. The other way people determine what the middle is they kind of underline or cross out one number from each side. So I crossed out, or I underlined 104. I'm going to underline 189. Do the same with 104 and 136. So every time I underline a number on the left, I always underline a number on the right. And then, as you notice here, we have an even number of data points, and we have 2 numbers in the middle here that we can't underline because there's no number in between there. So we're going to find the average to find the median. To find the average, you take 109 plus 113, and there are only 2 numbers, so we're going to divide it by 2. And if we do that, 109 plus 113 divided by 2, we get 111. If you are doing this in your calculator, you have to know your calculator well enough, because some people's calculators, you'll be able to just enter that straight in. However, oftentimes we need to put parentheses around the numerator. We need to put a parentheses, 109 plus 113, close that parentheses off, and then divide by 2. So then we're going to find the mean, or the average of the whole data set. So to find the mean, we're going to add up all the numbers together. So we're going to take 104, and whether you leave them in the order or you use the original data points, doesn't matter. I'm going to use the list in order. So 104 plus 104 plus 104 plus 109 plus 113 plus 117 plus 136 plus 189. So now we're going to divide all of that by 8, because that is the amount of data points that we have. So again, if we enter this all into our calculator at once, you want to make sure there's parentheses around here. However, I would recommend adding up all these numbers together, hitting the enter symbol on a calculator or the equal sign, and then dividing it by 8. But if you do that, you should end up with 122. And then we're going to find the mode of the data set, and that is the number that occurs the most. The mode here is 104. It occurs 3 times. So it is the number that occurs the most. And then we need to figure out which measure describes the data best. And that was what I was talking about in the beginning of the video in the red handwriting. If there is an outlier, you are going to want to use the median. If there is no outlier, you want to use the mean. And the mode is only so that we know what is the most popular number or the most common number. So looking at this and our set of numbers, it's easy to miss, but 189 could be viewed as an outlier because you have all these numbers that are kind of close together, and then 189 is 50 points above the biggest number here. So 189 is going to be considered an outlier. And because of that, because 189 is an outlier, the median is the best to describe the data. The median of 111. So the measure of central tendency to describe the scores of this bowling match would be 111. And now you can try finding mean, median, and mode on your own. Don't forget median, you have to put the numbers in order first.